welcome to my Sonic Generations review. I did a review and then I wanted to do it on tape. Alright, first of all, the game wasn't as good as I expected it to be. I expected it to be like the other games that I had enjoyed. Like Sonic Unleashed and Sonic 06 and Shadow the Hedgehog. They all had something that I enjoyed about them. Sonic Generations, however, there are some parts that I enjoy, but there are just some parts that I think that they would have went without. Okay, now let's start off with the story as if there was a story. The story was, it was like non-existent. They just wanted a reason why they can put all the stages in one limbo, and then you rescue your friends, and then you fight this boss thingy, majiggy, whatever. He goes through time and meets his younger counterpart, and then runs and restores time, which I can find. It's a Sonic game, so logic does not count. Even though I do kind of raise my eyes at, the fact that he runs to restore time and space. But, never mind that. It wasn't that much of a story that was, hard to follow. It seems like they put the story at the last minute. Like, they put it together during someone's coffee break. Just like that forum skin that they came up with. And, yeah, This game would have been better if it didn't have a story. I mean, for now, let's just play the game just because we play the game, not because there's a story in it. You know what I'm saying? Alright, the gameplay. Well, here's the part where people kind of got confused. I'll talk about Classic Sonic first, because that's the one I disliked. It seems like Classic Sonic, even though he can spin dash, that was like my only boost of speed, meaning that Classic Sonic was only fast if I spin dash for periods of time. Whereas if I play Sonic 4, I don't have to spin dash for Sonic to be fast because he's already fast running. And then with the momentum and the physics, he's gradually earning his speed, just like Classic Sonic and Generations. It's just that, when I run and straight up and down, it feels like I'm so slow. And then there's no other way to explain it other than the fact that games like Sonic Rush, the Sonic was fast, and then the gameplay was interesting. Classic Sonic, it seems like they didn't put as much work into it as they did Modern Sonic. I mean, modern Sonic was just like, the one in Sonic Unleashed, where you boost through the planes and you have this great sense of speed and it makes the course interesting. Maybe if they gave Classic Sonic a modern move like they did in Sonic 4, it would have been a little bit more interesting to say, because Classic Sonic's been shown to do a homing attack. Maybe they should have done that, like, you can buy that skill. Yeah, I was disappointed when you couldn't buy it or they didn't put it on Classic Sonic. You had to rely on your curling to bounce off an enemy, even though they move up and down gradually. Whereas in Sonic 4, you didn't really have to worry about that, because once you came across an enemy, you could just bounce off them with your homing attack and then bounce off another spring and then run like there's no tomorrow. And as you know, I like modern Sonic's gameplay. Like I said, it was a great sense of speed with the course and rehash courses, and except for City Escape, which is obviously the stage I hate, all the modern stages were awesome. And the one classic stage that I hated the most was Planet Wisp. I mean, I couldn't figure. It's not that I couldn't figure out the spikes. I got it because I played Sonic Colors before as a demo, but it was confusing to say the least. Whereas the classic, the modern Sonic one, It was bad, but not as bad as Classic Sonic. Alright, now let's move on to the concept, which will get a more positive review. Well, not that the other ones were negative. I like that they're bringing back old stages in music. I like that how when you do the challenges and you ring that bell, you get either a piece of artwork, or you get a new move, or you get a new music. And the awesome thing is that once you play a stage, you can change the music to the stage if you didn't like it. Like, let's take the Time Eater for example, because I always like to type Time Easter for some reason. I used the Sweet Mountain theme because I didn't like the original theme, and it kind of gets me going. And every time I do those stupid Dopey Ganger races, which I hate, I always use that right there, right on song, or use the free song, because every time I run into the stage, it makes me feel free. I like playing old stages. The stage I liked the most was Crisis City. Of course, Crisis City. And I like Green Hill too. It was very easy, and you know, I did a couple of speed runs and I got it right. I just couldn't get it right with Classic Sonic, but I got it with Modern Sonic, and I got an S rank twice, and I got all the red rings. Which I don't get the point of the red rings, but who cares? I liked how you can have challenges, and Sonic's friends are there to help you out. You know, rather than just sit there on the sidelines and cheering for you like they did when they were all in time, space, or whatever. That would be something else to talk about. And the rival battles were awesome. I liked them all, but Silver was the best one. Shadow was the second best because of the music. Metal Sonic, I'm not so sure about, he was good too. Now let's go on to the graphics. I don't really have that much to say on the graphics, because the graphics gets better with every game that they come up with, except for Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and then Sonic Heroes, and maybe Shadow the Hedgehog, but that game was so awesome, I had to ignore the graphics. Alright. Overall, this game was like, yeah, it's a game. It's a Sonic game. What's special about it is that, you know, like I said, you can change the music and play the challenges that you want, and there's one thing I didn't like is that you had to play one challenge in order for the game to stretch. You know, they should have been like extras. And if you wanted the game to stretch that bad, you could have made the cutscenes or the stages a little bit longer, like they did with Crisis City Classic Sonic, which was interesting to see, because when I went up to the post, the sign just blew away. It's like they were trucking with me, man. That was like so mean. Okay, so I think that the game would have been better if I got to play with someone else other than Sonic. I do say that, you know, Sonic only is the way to go, but that's not really the way I feel, because I just say that so people will hate me for wanting Silver in the games, because this place is very notorious for hating him, and if I said that I want him in the games, then certain people are going to be mad, you know. So, but now I can say it, because the people that say it aren't here. So let me say this: it would have been better if I could play as someone else other than Sonic, maybe as an extra. You know, main game, yeah, I don't have no problem playing as just Sonic. No, Modern Sonic was awesome. You know, maybe I wish that they could have fixed Classic Sonic some more. It's just that, you know, it felt like Sonic's friends were just there, you know, just there because, you know, to cheer him on, or they didn't, yeah. I wanted to play as them some more. Maybe next game, but... And, let's go on to the Time Eater. Worst boss I've ever encountered. It was very confusing. The boss itself was terrible, because
I'm going through time and the controls are slippery and I'm pressing X, to get there, and I'm dodging and he's throwing these pieces at me, and it was very well it was very poorly executed, unlike the other final bosses. I wouldn't mind the Time Eater if it was, executed the right way. Not like Solaris. I mean, at least this boss is better than the Solaris one, but there was something about it that I didn't like. Maybe it's because all you had to do was do one thing, but it's making it more impossible than it really was. Overall, this game is good. The game's good, but it's not that good. It's not good to the point where I would give it a 9 or a 10 or an 8. I gave it a 6.5 because it's a good game, but there's more work that can be done with it. And yeah, that concludes my Sonic Generations review.